Well, hello and welcome to this live here at ThePrint. Today, what we'll be discussing is about the new cabinet and the new set of cabinet ministers of the Karnataka Chief Minister, Mr. Yediyurappa. Now, the question that we have also posed out, and we're hoping that you would come in and send in your questions and discuss more, is about the three deputies that he has as of now, he has appointed them, as well as the rest of the cabinet ministers, where there is a lot of dissent within the BJP that many senior BJP leaders have not been given their due, not just as cabinet ministers, as well as the posts or the portfolios that they have been given. Now, today, what we need to understand also, as is in situation, is the Bharatiya Janata Party in Karnataka is quite upbeat to the fact that they have been able to get back the governance or the government back in place, as well as have a strong cabinet. This cabinet, which the BJP central leadership is now looking at, is not just appointing people who bring about a social or caste balance, but also a new crop of young leaders. Now, this is something that we have seen, especially in the Modi Shah government, that they are trying to, as much as possible, bring about a new line of leadership. We've seen that, especially in the choice of candidates, even in the Lok Sabha elections, and in Karnataka also, the tallest leader in the BJP still continues to be B.S. Yediyurappa, who is now the chief minister. But along with him, there are a set of second and third rung ministers and MLAs who also feel that things can possibly change. Now, Nayanima asked, how will the situation develop from here on? There are three things that can happen, Nayanima. Number one is that this is the way that the three deputy chief ministers have been put in place is also by the BJP central leadership putting pressure on Yediyurappa to say that you're not the only one taking the call. Like I was saying, that the new crop of MLAs as well as the MPs and BJP leaders in Karnataka also is being put together, because the age factor of Yediyurappa also needs to be known. Number one, Yediyurappa has passed 75 years of age, and this is one thing that BJP leadership have been putting down in place and telling him that he needs to develop a new line of young blood in the BJP to take forward the legacy of the BJP. If looking forward, yes, there are a set of leaders, be it R. Ashoka, who is a Vakaliga leader, you have Jagdish Shettar, who's a Lingayat leader, you have Basaraj Bommai, who's also been included in the cabinet as one of the Lingayat leaders there. Apart from him, Suresh Kumar and the second, and several others who have not got as much opportunity as much as leaders who are very close to Yediyurappa have. And that is one thing that both Modi and Shah want to do this time. And that is one reason why you can see that they're closely monitoring the developments in Karnataka. Number one, they would ensure, and the fact that they have brought in Nalin Kumar Katil as the BJP state president. He is a hardcore RSS man. He is also the chosen one by Amit Shah. Clearly shows that Shah is calling the shots here. Katil will be the balance factor, because not only will he be balancing the powers that Yediyurappa usually tends to put across in Karnataka, being the tallest leader in the state, but also he would be the person who is the go between the center and the state. Apart from him, if you see the way the choice of the three deputy chief ministers have been, it is not just a balance of social balance that we are seeing, it's also a balance between, number one, you have a person who's infamous and but though he has been let off by the Parliamentary Affairs Board, saying that he was not part of the pornography scandal, but yes, he is known as the Porngate minister at that time, who he was forced to resign. That is Lakshman Savdi. But Lakshman Savdi is a strong Lingayat leader from North Karnataka. You have Govind Karjol, who represents the Dalits, and also this is one of the representation, not just because of the social status that he has, but also because to balance the fact that Govind Karjol and his team helped Yediyurappa win in the 2008 elections. That is where the BJP did extremely well in North Karnataka. And in terms of Ashwani Narayan, he's a Vakaliga leader. And Ashwani Narayan also, if you look at him, he's suave, and he's different from the other contender who most people thought would be the deputy chief minister, that is R. Ashoka. Ashwani Narayan also has a different factor. He's known as a person, a Vokaliga from the Mysore region. Now, that is one region where the BJP is trying to cut into, and that is a JDS, a Vokaliga bastion, which is also largely Vokaligas do support the JDS as a party. So they are trying to make inroads and they're hoping that Ashwani Narayan can do that. So these are the three deputy chief ministers, and the way, just not the caste balance, but also the balance that the BJP as a party is trying to create to ensure that not only the Congress and JDS are completely diminished, the powers are diminished in Karnataka, and the BJP has a stronghold in most places, which used to be the JDS and Congress's stronghold. So looking forward, Yediyurappa will now, you can see clearly that his wings have been cut. It is clear that the BJP central leadership will be taking calls. It is the fact that, number one, for almost 3 weeks, he was the chief minister all by himself. The central leadership did not find the time to give to allot to him to discuss cabinet expansion. But once the cabinet expansion took place after 3 weeks, they took another full week to actually clear the names of the people who would be ministers. So here, clearly, what is happening is that the central leadership is calling the shots. Yediyurappa needs to fall in line, because then Yediyurappa also has understood that if he didn't fall in line, he will not be able to stay in power. Another thing is that what we realize is that the central leadership of the BJP has been insistent on midterm elections. But it is Yediyurappa who wanted to get into the seat of the chief minister. And every effort through Operation Kamala, or the poaching exercise that we've seen with the BJP of getting MLAs from the other party onwards, was initiated. Though the first few times it did flop, but he effectively managed it with the help of Lakshman Saudi, Ashwani Narayan, and leaders like C.T. Ravi and others, who ensured that they could drag as many MAs from the Congress and JDS into the BJP. Now, while seeing that, this hurried behavior of Yediyurappa has irked the central leadership, and that is why they're hoping that they can try as much as possible keep a tab on Yediyurappa, and that is why they have realized by decentralizing the power, not just having a chief minister, but having 3 other deputy chief ministers, Yediyurappa will not be able to take all the calls that he needs. That is one. And number 2, what we can see looking forward also is that there is a possibility that the central leadership would tell Yediyurappa that if he needs to continue, then they would prefer a stable government. We should remember they're on a wafer-thin majority as of now. They're just 2 more than the halfway mark, but they're hoping that the 17 rebels who have switched over from the Congress JDS to the BJP, their petition is heard in the Supreme Court, and if they are cleared, then they can join the BJP. Otherwise, they will still be in a wafer-thin majority. And so the central leadership has asked him to go to polls as soon as possible and come back with a bigger mandate of more than 150 seats, and comfortably then govern the state of Karnataka. So these are the things that can possibly happen. And like I was saying initially, the BJP has a new state president after Yediyurappa has vacated, that is Nalin Kumar Katil. He will be the go-between between the state and the center, and so that way also the state will be able to keep a tab on the developments that are taking place. And while we are at this, I would also request you to send in your questions. Now, Divij Srivastava says, why change? We had to change this stream because also we realized that I was getting disconnected, and so we had to get back. Let me also tell you that while we are on this, let me also take another question that is talking about what will happen to Yediyurappa, will he complete his term? Well, that's an interesting question. Thank you so much for that. Yes, the effort of the BJP is to try and complete this entire term, because they want to show, and they would like to do this at this point of time, that they have brought down a government, a coalition government, which is shaky for 14 months. And they would like to show a stable government, and that a government that people appreciate. Now, but there is something that we need to understand, that there is a tussle between the center and the state. The BJP central leadership have understood that Yediyurappa is one of the BJP is one of the largest, in Karnataka, Yediyurappa is one of the tallest leaders, and they cannot do anything beyond, without taking him in the loop. And so this is important for them to understand that if they do bring in people like we have the recently, that is, I'm talking about BL Santosh, who was recently made the organization, National General Secretary for organization of the BJP. His intervention or his interference, as some of them call it, will possibly turn the tables around here in Karnataka, and so they have to be extremely careful as to what and how they are dealing with it now. The choice of these three deputy chief ministers also has been a choice by Santosh, who impressed upon Amit Shah to do so. So, will he complete his term? Well, he will, is what the BJP believe. But the Congress and JDS, though we have seen that there are problems that are brewing between them already, that itself shows that they will need to strengthen their parties from their grassroots level and work their way upwards in the next few years. And that is what senior Congress leaders also have been telling me, that they would want to use this time that the BJP will be in governance to try and strengthen their workforce. But we have seen how the tussle is out in the open between Siddaramaiah versus Devagowda and Kumaraswamy, where each of them saying that they were the other was responsible for bringing down the coalition government. But yes, and while you're pleased, I would still request you to continue sending in your questions. We are getting some questions through messages. I would like to take this one last question before I wrap up now. This one is about Nalin Kumar Katil. How is his working going to help the strengthen the party? Well, let me bring this in perspective of the question that we have put out in this live today. Nalin Kumar Katil is a hardcore RSS member, and one thing about Katil is that not only is he's a face, but he's not very popular in the state of Karnataka, apart from the area that he belongs, that is in Dakshin Kannada area. So one thing that needs to be done for that Katil needs to do is strengthen not himself, as not just the BJP, but also his image in the party. Now, yet he will also need to seek help from Yediyurappa to do so, because it is only as a cohesive force as a state party will they be able to do that. In terms of taking forward how the involvement of the state leadership and the central will be, the BJP is trying to bridge the gap, because Karnataka, if you remember, is the first state where the BJP opened their account across South India, and so they would like to not just use Karnataka as an example to make inroads in other states which they already have, be it in Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Kerala and Tamil Nadu, but they would also want to try and see if they could put up or set up their governments there. So thank you so much for all your questions today. Thank you so much, and we will try and answer them.